how can you improve your urgency and scarcity to convert more buyers? And for me, this tool happened to be part of that answer.
The internet has made it easier than ever to start a business. Succeeding on the internet, now that's another story. The big question is, what are those who are succeeding doing differently? This podcast has the answers. Hi, my name is Lisanne Murphy. I've spent the last 3 years running a successful advertising agency. I noticed with certain clients, I ran into the same problem over and over again. Their offering was just not grabbing the prospect's heart and wrestling them into purchasing submission. Why? Many of these business owners were so far down the road in their journey and so in love with their product, they forgot who they were serving, missing some essential steps along the way. So, I'm pivoting focus. Join me as I go behind the scenes with the most brilliant entrepreneur minds to demystify the nitty-gritty marketing hacks needed to be successful before spending thousands on advertising that ultimately separate the internet legends from the dreamers. On the previous episode, you heard from Mark Stern. Mark shared all about his authority formula, which is about how to show up in the marketplace as an authority figure. It was seriously so good. So click back to that episode to check that out. But while I've got you, stay tuned because I've got the one and only Lauren Golden on the podcast next. As the creator of the Free Mama movement, this corporate worker turned freelancer turned entrepreneur has created a following of over 27,000 women who are all working to achieve financial freedom as they work from home. It is so inspiring to listen to her story. Stick around to hear how she uses scarcity and urgency in her business to create buying, raving fans out of her customers. Welcome to the Marketing Matrix podcast. I'm your host, Lisanne Murphy, and I am here with the incredible, talented, wonderful, great friend of mine, Lauren Golden. Lauren, thank you so much for being with us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, guys, seriously, we just finished our long interview and it was straight fire. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to it in a couple days. But I wanted to, you guys know what we do on this. We give her a short episode. But before we do, I want to introduce this powerhouse entrepreneur. So Lauren Golden is the fearless leader of the Free Mama movement, which is a thriving community of tens of thousands of women who don't want to choose between family and financial stability. Her mission is simple. Lauren wants to ensure that no mother ever has to sacrifice time with her babies in order to provide for them. Lauren also is a 2 Comma Club winner and a #1 international best-selling author. In her book, The Free Mama, How to Work from Home, Control Your Schedule, and Make More Money, she shares her own story, along with plenty of practical advice for anyone looking to leave the 9-to-5 behind and make a real living from home. Guys, Lauren is the real deal. So grateful that she's with us on the show. Again, Lauren, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we are just thrilled. So for those of our listeners that aren't as familiar with your story, tell us, how did you become the queen of the Free Mama movement?
I love that. I need a crown. No.
Yes.
How did I become the queen of the Free Mama movement? So I went from stressed out, overworked, overwhelmed, kind of solo parenting. At the time, my husband, we had spent like 6 figures on an SBA loan to buy out a business. So my husband was working 7 days a week, but not paying himself. So I was working full time, and you heard the ha ha ha. So that's how I was. I was very stressed out to quitting my job. 1 week after kind of going through a traumatizing event, I had a miscarriage that kind of made me question what I was doing with my life. I literally was like, what are you waiting for? You're not happy. And I walked in and I quit my job. And within 1 year, I became a part-time freelancer with a full-time income. I had earned more than what I was making at my previous job, working half the hours. And kind of fast forward a little bit, I realized other moms want the same thing that I did. They wanted to be home, but they wanted to be able to make money and have control over their financial situation and actually love what they do. And I was able to show them that that's possible. So I created a course. It's a 12-week program called the Free Mama Movement, and grew an amazing community of over 27,000 people right now and growing, and wrote a book about kind of my mission, which you read in the bio, but it's to make sure that no mother has to choose between family and financial stability. And I just feel so grateful to be a walking cliche as someone who never works a day in her life, because I literally love what I get to do.
Oh, Lauren, it's been seriously just such a pleasure. I've been friends with Lauren for just over a year now, and it has been
Is that
so
it all? We've only known each
right?
other a year? Wow. It does feel like a lot longer.
It does. It really does. But one thing that I love about Lauren is like she is relentless when it comes to serving her community and finding new ways to reach people to spread her message. I mean, we in the long episode we talk about this, but she has this huge thriving Facebook group which she just mentioned. She has a podcast. She's starting a podcast. She has a YouTube channel. She has books. I mean, she has courses. I mean, she has everything. So the question I'm about to ask her, I'm super excited because this is not a one-trick pony, right? Like Lauren is not a one-trick pony, okay? So, so the question is this, Lauren, what small marketing strategy or tactic has made the biggest difference in your business and why?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer this for the biggest financial difference, because I could go down a whole different road about outsourcing and time, but we talked about time and outsourcing in our long episode. So we're going to do something totally fun and different that I didn't talk about at all. And it has had the biggest impact on the bottom line of my business. And that is utilizing a software called Deadline Funnel. And if you're not familiar with Deadline Funnel, basically, and I don't speak technical, if you get to watch this someday, I'm moving my hands around like all crazy because I don't know all the real words. But basically, it's something that can integrate with ClickFunnels, which is what my entire course, platform, sales pages, emails, all that is built on. ClickFunnels, and it integrates with it and it tracks people. So it's like one of those cookie kind of things where it follows people. And what Deadline Funnel does, you're like, this is the worst explanation ever. How are you in business? We don't know, people. We just have good ideas. So we implemented Deadline Funnel. And what happened was, I should back up. Should I tell you why I signed up for Deadline Funnel? That's the punchline. The punchline is Deadline Funnel has had the biggest impact on my business financially. Lauren, why did you need Deadline Funnel? Let me tell you. So like Lysanne said, and actually our mutual friend, Catherine Jones, she calls me the lady of the people. And it always makes me chuckle, but I also love when she calls me that because I take that very seriously. I worked very hard to build my community and I love my community. I love them and I love them hard. And because of that, but I'm also a good marketer. So I know that we need things like urgency and scarcity to get people to take action. But I had a lot of internal conflict about the idea of open cart, closed cart, and kind of these like, we use them as marketing tactics to make sales, but they didn't feel good when I knew my audience so intimately that people were selling stuff around their house to be able to buy my course. People were saving up for months to be able to buy my course. And I'm like, how do I keep this accessible for them, but implement some of these best marketing practices that if I don't have them somewhere, I'm not going to be able to help these people because they're not going to take action and buy. And I resisted the idea of adding Deadline Funnel to my business for a long time because I think partially I just didn't maybe understand how it would work. I thought it felt even more like a closed door. But what's really cool is what it's been able to allow us to do is get creative with the different kinds of offers that we can create to people. So it gives us real scarcity and urgency because since it does all these spider webby things I'm doing with my hands and tracks people and their behaviors with my throughout my funnel. We don't have to take things away necessarily. I can do things like price changes. So rather than like, you can't get in after 5 days, even though I know you're trying to sell your left arm to be able to be a part of this, we can lead to a different order page where maybe it's a different price point or a different payment plan option. We've been able to get creative and do things with different bonus structures. So instead of taking stuff away or like changing prices or closing doors, it's like, what if they got something added value by buying within that early amount of time? And so what Deadline Funnel does that I've loved is it's allowed me to implement some of these really great tactics that we know are critical to be successful marketers in a way that feels in integrity with myself and how I want to serve my audience.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. So I have like so many questions.
Let's
so good. Okay. So with Deadline Funnel, and it's also, it automates it, right? So it's not like,
correct.
I mean, once you set it up, with like the automation sequence behind it, like it goes.
Yeah. And I didn't even set it up, which is even more beautiful, which leads me to the second thing that's been most successful in my, I don't know if it's a marketing tactic, but they actually can do it. Their upsell is that they'll do it for you. So I literally just had to make a Loom video of my current funnel and what I wanted it to do. And they went in and they set up everything for me and tested it and made me a video on how it works and like showing me all the stuff they did, and they branded it to my brand. So like pages have countdown timers. They went in and they implemented some of these countdown timers into my email sequences for me. And they made everything match and function. And I can't remember verbatim, but I actually recently did an interview with the CEO of Deadline Funnel. And I think my cost per purchase on my paid traffic, so not counting any of our affiliates or organic traffic, but on my paid traffic coming from Facebook, my cost per acquisition went somewhere from like, it was not doing well. The campaign was not doing awesome. I didn't change anything else about my business. It was something like $600 per purchase to like $300. I mean, it was like in half, like the first month that we implemented this, and it stayed lower ever since without making any other adjustments.
That is a game changer.
Game changer. I told you. Lucy had said, she's like, I'm going to tell you what my question is. I'm like, oh, I know my answer. I am ready. And what's really beautiful, so it's impactful, it's working, it has an ROI, and I feel good about it. And it's automated. So it's like, just everything. It's been really great. And I'm upset with myself. The only thing I would do differently is not waiting so long. I had heard about this resource for a long time, but I had kind of told myself the stories, that were not serving me, that all the reasons why I shouldn't do it. And it's been a huge, huge resource that has paid for itself many times over.
I love it so much. Well, and honestly, what I love is that like the tactic and strategy that you taught was like a software that anyone can implement and very easy. It's not like you like shared like some like secret Lauren gift or like whatever. Like it was a tactic and a resource that more people need to know about, because it allows you to improve the numbers in your business, but also serve more people because they can take the offer at the time or the price point that works for them, so they still get the impact in their life.
Yeah. And you've consulted with me before, my audience pretty well, because you had to be able to help me. And I have long-term buyers. Like, I mean, some people get out of like the Facebook tracking pixel. They wait so long. And I'll have people who will join group coaching, which means they purchase my course, and they'll say like, I've been following you for 2 years. Like, I had to make sure you were and I'm like, 2 years? Like, but again, this allows me to still serve those people. They don't have to wait 6 months. They don't, I'm not launching all the time or fake launching all the time. Like, and if you're doing that, that's totally cool, by the way. But for me, it's like, if you don't feel good about what you're doing, that's probably going to come off somehow. And for me, like, I'm evergreen, and I'm loud that I'm evergreen. Like, my webinar is 2.5 years old and people know it. Like, but I think they respect me for it, because I don't try to pretend that it's not. I don't try to pretend anything's not. And so this tool, this shift that we made, allowed me to stay in integrity, still use all that stuff, be transparent about it, but still make all of my offers available. It's just, you might have to pay a little bit more if you wait, or you might not get this cool thing if you wait. Again, it's all automated. So it really, I can't speak highly enough about it. And I think the main takeaway isn't necessarily go get Deadline Funnel, but it's how can you improve your urgency and scarcity to convert more buyers? And for me, this tool happened to be part of that answer.
I love that. And I love that you brought it back to the principle, is that powerful marketing tool of scarcity and urgency. It's so important, but it can be challenging to be like, I can't afford to launch a new thing every couple months in order to use those strategies. So I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay, Lauren, how can people follow your journey? How can people find you?
Oh my gosh, please come hang out with me on Facebook. It's my favorite place to be. Friend me, join our Facebook group. You can search the Free Mama Movement, check out the show notes. I'm on Instagram doing behind the scenes, Life is Chaos, Lauren Golden, Free Mama TV on YouTube, Free Mama Radio, new podcast launching May 11th. Life is good.
I love it. We are so excited. Thank you so much for bringing so much value. And guys, she is giving us a video on how to optimize your social media presence, and so that your profile and everything isn't leaky and you're not losing sales from that. So we're super excited. Yes, we're so excited to have that in the toolbox, which you will be able to pick up. So again, Lauren, thank you so much for coming and for sharing the nitty gritty of what is working in your business and how it's affecting your numbers. So great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning into the Marketing Matrix podcast. On the next episode, we get to hear from Lauren Golden again. This time, she goes deep into her story and experience of becoming an entrepreneur who has a best-selling book, earned her 2 Comma Club award, has an acclaimed YouTube channel, a massive Facebook group, and is starting a podcast this month. Guys, she has done it all. We are stoked to have her to share her story. And while I've got you, I wanted to remind you about the Marketing Matrix Toolbox. This resource has tons of free marketing tools to make your marketing journey easier. We add new content to it each week. So check it out and register for instant access at toolbox.themarketingmatrixpodcast.com. And if you want to join the conversations surrounding marketing, especially around Facebook ads, then check out my free Facebook group. It's called Facebook Ads for Coaches, Course Creators, and Lifestyle Brands. This is an awesome community of people who are trying to master the ad game in order to scale their business while saving time. You can join this group at www.facebook.com/groups/FBAdNinjas. That's right, we are ad ninjas in this group. All right, that's it for now. See you next time on The Marketing Matrix.